council was within the division or the seats that they were running for. Vincent in Perth and Wanneroo and Pearce.
Yeah, so I think actually my situation is more desirable because I represent the ratepayers of the City of Perth, and the City of Perth's boundaries do not cross over or intersect with the seat of Churchlands at all. So they were, if you like, they were administrating local governments in the areas where they were the candidates for state or federal parliament. In my case, that cannot be said of me.
But it's going to be, you're splitting your energy between representing two different lots of people.
I'm a very energetic person, Michael, and I think 30 years, anyone who's followed my career over the last 30 years will know that energy is not something I'm lacking in. I've got a huge work ethic. I love it. I love taking on the challenges. I will be able to manage.
Perth ratepayers didn't sign up for that, though.
Well, they re-elected me in October, and there was lots of discussion and speculation about what my future might or might not be. I was very clear and upfront in saying that the only election that I was focused on in the lead up to the October Lord Mayoral election was that one. And that was absolutely true.
Have you let those people down, the ratepayers that voted for you, expecting to see that?
Interesting you ask that, because I would receive about 100 emails and probably another 100 or so direct communications on social media every week from ratepayers of the City of Perth. And I can stand here today and tell you that not a single ratepayer in the lead up to today's announcement has mentioned candidacy or potential candidacy for the Liberal Party in Churchlands or anywhere else. Not a single person has mentioned that to me. And lots of people whose counsel I have sought, talking about that very issue, have said people are well aware of what might be on the horizon for you, and they've had the opportunity in that October election. They've gone into that election knowing what was on the table. I didn't rule anything out, but I did say that my focus was very clearly on the October Lord Mayoral election. And I think people understand my desire to take what I've learnt as Lord Mayor, to take the learnings about how this state government operate to the next tier. One of the things I've observed very closely from a front row seat, if you like, is the effect of a lack of balance on our political system in how this government has operated. And more balance, I think, in opposition is going to help produce a better government, whichever way it is. We want it to be closer. We want a more fierce, even contest, and that's something that I'd like to be a part of.
Did Kerry Stokes encourage you to switch to state politics?
No encouragement from anyone like that at my employer, Seven West Media, but obviously I've had lots of discussions with lots of people, including at Seven West, because I am employed by Seven West Media, and so like anything that you're going to do with the people closest to you, you're going to have those discussions. And there was no encouragement, but an understanding of why I might desire the opportunity to step forward.
An endorsement?
No endorsement. Didn't ask for one and didn't get one.
When did you become a member of the Liberal Party?
Haven't as yet. That will happen this weekend.
So this weekend you will actually, as in today, tomorrow, put in your form? How does that work?
Yeah, it will likely, digitally is how you're able to do it, and I'll likely do it this afternoon or tomorrow. We were always very clear, and I think everybody knew that the deadline was tomorrow. I think everybody was very clear that the deadline was Monday, and I will meet that deadline. It'll be later today or tomorrow.
Have you, when did you let Libby Messam know of your decision?
Yeah.
When did you do that?
Yeah, I've had a couple of conversations with Libby Messam over the past 12 months, only 2 or 3 to be honest. One of them about 12 months ago, one of them a month or so ago, and I called her yesterday to let her know that this announcement would be taking place today. She was encouraging. Obviously she realises better than any that I am not a Liberal endorsed candidate yet. What I'm doing is putting my hand up, but she was encouraging, as she has been of all of the other candidates that have put their hand up for pre-selection, and I expressed to her that if successful, I'd be very excited to be a part of her team and the Liberal team going towards the 2025 election.
Should she take you to the next election as leader?
Should she take me?
Yeah, should Libby Messam be the Liberal Party leader at the next election?
I think it's important that I'm very clear on that. I'm not a candidate for the leadership. I am a candidate for pre-selection for the seat of Churchlands for the Liberal Party for the 2025 election. And then, if successful, I will be the Liberal candidate for the 2025 state election. I'm not a candidate for the leadership, and that is not a decision that I am able to influence and won't be looking to exert any influence over it.
You've been quite coy about this decision over the past days and weeks. Was it really made last minute?
Look, I think people will understand, and I know I'm standing in front of lots of people who have made big career decisions in their life, and when you're offered an opportunity or when an opportunity presents, you really do have to weigh up the pros and the cons and go fully informed into the decision that you are making. I want to be clear, look, in terms of the added scrutiny, the added attention, perhaps the level of engagement, I'm ready for all of those things. I feel like I've prepared my whole public life for this moment in many ways. But you're also very conscious that you're bringing your family further into this environment. My family have been involved with their dad or their husband in public life for as long as they've known me. So in many ways they are prepared, but I accept this is another step up again. And you have to have those conversations with those closest to you, and you have to make sure that they are comfortable. You can't do these things on your own. It's got to be a team effort, and the ultimate team is your family. And so I've had those conversations with my kids and obviously with my wife Amy, and we've reached a point where we're all comfortable, and we reached that point in the last couple of weeks. That's when it really solidified.
When you met with Kerry Stokes, you say he didn't encourage you and he didn't endorse you, but he didn't stand in your way. What did he say?
No. That's exactly right. That's right. He was keen to hear why I thought I might like to have a go. I explained to him that I think I have a passion to continue to represent Western Australia. That representing Western Australia and representing my local area really started as a member of the Channel 7 team. That's where I got opportunities to really dig in and represent the community through things like telethon, and it's something that I've been very passionate about. I think he understands the sort of person that I am. He's been as part of the Channel 7 team for almost the entire time that I've been there, nearly 30 years. So I don't think it was any surprise to him that I might have had a passion or a desire to continue in this space. He was keen to understand why I thought I might like to do it. He was encouraging generally, as somebody would be who you might say, listen, I'm thinking of doing this. And, it was not much more than good on you. If you think you want to have a go, good on you, have a go.
So just to clarify, did
he'll contribute to your campaign?
I have not considered that. My understanding of contributions to my campaign is that really that relies on me. I'm going to have to be the contributor to my campaign. Haven't considered that, haven't asked, and not contemplating that.
So just to clarify, just on the Kerry Stokes question, did you say you met with him and said to him, I'm going to put my hand up?
Absolutely. So some time ago, I wasn't meeting with him about this. I think it was post-telethon, and I indicated, one of the things that I'm considering is a tilt at state parliament. And he was keen to understand why I might be interested in having a go, and was generally encouraging. As I said, the conversation was not much more than, okay, well, as long as you've thought about everything and you know the space that you'd be getting into, then if you feel like you're suitable for it, have a go. It was not much more complicated than that.
You've talked about your role on the council, that you'll continue to the Ritz, basically, if you're successful called. You still occasionally do stuff on the sports desk, and you wrote a column for the West. Are you still doing those?
So I won't be doing the sports desk anymore, but the other things that I do for 7 West will continue until such time, if I was successful in preselection, and then if I was successful in winning the seat of Churchlands for the Liberal Party, then that would come to an end. But lots of people in lots of different walks of life from lots of different professional backgrounds have stayed in their job until such time as they have been elected into Parliament. It's our democratic right in this country. And I don't know about most people, but I don't think there's too many that would be able to afford quitting their job a year plus out from the election to run for the next election.
The Cook government, even the Premier, they've had a crack at you in the last recent times. I think John Kerry has, the Premier. I expect them to do so again. Are they scared of you? How do you interpret that? Are they frightened of you? They just don't like you? What is it? Is it just normal part of politics? What is it that they don't like about Basil Zempilas?
I'm not sure, and obviously that's something that you would have to ask them. but clearly my media background and general awareness of this space, I mean, I have found it curious, the amount of attention they have given me. I think it's been unusual. I think actually it's been undisciplined on their behalf. That is a matter for them to worry about. I mean, am I worried if they keep talking about me? Absolutely not at all. In some ways, it's a compliment. In some ways, it's a feather in my cap for the advocacy that I've been able to display on behalf of the ratepayers of the City of Perth. What they say, what they do, I am in no control of. Those issues and those matters are for them to discuss. I think we all know, and some of them have looked at each other and said, why are we talking about this bloke so much? Perhaps we should worry about ourselves and not our potential opponents. But again, I'm a friendly guy. I like giving advice, but I won't give too much advice. I'm sure they're capable of working out their approach from here on in.
Just one more on 7 West Media. There might be some members of Churchlands who think that you being an employee there and also running for the seat and using the paper for your columns might be a conflict of interest. What's your message to the people who think that way?
Well, I'd say that Bill Shorten writes a column in the West Australian every week, and so does
paid by the West Australian.
and so does Libby Medham. And so what I would say is I am going through the pre-selection process, and so ultimately those considerations and every other consideration about me will be put to the membership of the Liberal Party in the area of Churchlands. So I will need to satisfy enough of those people to win pre-selection. So I am at the mercy of that process. I absolutely accept that. I think one thing with me, there is no hiding any of where I've been, what I've done, where I have been involved with. I have been an open book on that. I never hid any of that when I was running for Lord Mayor, and I certainly don't shy away from any of that now. Everybody knows where I've worked, what I've done, where I've been involved, and they will know that as they make their contemplations coming up soon, and then hopefully again in March of 2025. And I don't think people, local people or the broader West Australian public, I don't think we should suggest that they're not capable of working out that this bloke used to be on Channel 7, used to do the news. I think everybody knows that. I think everybody knows that, and they will make up their own decisions about that.
You grew up in this electorate. Two questions. Why are you? What are you going to tell pre-selectors? Why are you the best person to represent Churchlands? And is there an issue brewing in Churchlands already that you think has caught your eye?
Look, I'm a hard worker and I am of this community. I went to school here, both primary school and high school. I'm raising my family here. My mum and dad have lived in this area in the same house for 70 years. I am a Churchlands electorate local through and through. And I feel very fortunate and blessed to be bringing up my own family here. I know many, many people from this surrounding area. So I think as well as being a local and as well as being a very hard worker, I think people have seen through my time as Lord Mayor my effectiveness in advocacy for my local area. I will fight for what is right for my local area all of the time, just as I've done for Lord Mayor for the ratepayers of the City of Perth. That would be my approach here in Churchlands. There is one issue that I know is particularly topical with many people in this area, and that is the constant eroding of local government powers. Local government are in place for a reason. That's because they understand their area and they are elected by their local constituents. And so on issues like planning and other issues that affect local areas, to continually erode the powers of local government is something we should not stand for. And I know many of the people in this area are not satisfied that continually the powers of local government to affect decisions in their area are taken away. And that's something that I will certainly be fighting against. I've had the privileged position of seeing it from Lord Mayor, and it's certainly something that I would bring here. And there's a Stevenson Avenue extension that has long been mooted by main roads that would see that road go right through the golf course, the Wembley Golf Course, and right through Bold Park. Not a single local is in favour of that. In fact, I'm not sure a single West Australian would be in favour of that. Beautiful and pristine Wembley Golf Course and Bold Park, one of the great natural areas of our metropolitan area. And the idea that a road or a highway could go right through the middle of that is not one that anybody in this area wants, and I'll fight against that.
Big ask for the Liberals in 2025. Do they have a chance?
Of course. One of the things that I have loved about my previous life is watching contests where there's an underdog and a favourite. And many, many times the underdog has won. So I said today, I called Stephen Bradbury's race. I know that the impossible outcome is sometimes possible. I saw it with my own eyes firsthand. And obviously, the team going into the 2025 election should be taking the approach that we can win this contest.
Would you like to lead the party?
I have said very clearly that I enjoy leadership. I'm a leader at the City of Perth. But being a leader doesn't mean you have to be the leader. Do I want to be part of a leadership team? Of course. I see that as part of my role, and I look forward to, at the appropriate time, being a part of any leadership teams that I might be considered suitable for. But it doesn't mean I have to be the leader.
But if it came your way.
Gone for so long, was that not distracting to your work as Lord Mayor?
Sorry, could you just say that again?
Letting these speculations go on for so long, was that not distracting to your work?
I didn't find it distracting. I can apply myself. I'm good at compartmentalising. I've done that for many, many years. At one stage, I worked for Channel 9 and for Channel 7. I think if you can navigate that path, then you've proven you're quite capable of navigating other difficulties. I had no problem whatsoever in applying myself fully to my role as Lord Mayor, and I will have no problem whatsoever applying myself fully to my role as Lord Mayor until such time if I was lucky enough to be elected.
Sorry, and just on that point, you were saying that although difficult, I think you channeled Bradbury, I think you just said, that it is possible, a Liberal victory. You only got 2 seats in the lower house. How can that be possible?
Well, there's enough people who are dissatisfied, I think, with the approach of this current state government. And there is clearly, and I've been a witness to it, lots and lots of people, as it's been clear that I've been mulling this decision over, have come forward and offered advice, offered suggestions, and very pleasingly offered encouragement. There is clearly a dissatisfaction with this state government, and there is a mood for change. And if the Liberal Party, whoever the pre-selected candidates are able, in the lead up to the 2025 election, present as a unified team, as a team with a plan, and as a credible alternative government, then I think a change of government is entirely possible at the 2025 election. And that's why I'm stepping forward. I would love to be a part of the resurgence of the Liberal Party in Western Australia. There is a great appetite and mood for change. There is a rebuild on. We're seeing it right at the moment. I'm so impressed by the number of quality people who are putting their hand up, like I am now, for pre-selection for the Liberal Party. Great people coming through, a great appetite for change. The winds of change are blowing, and 2025 is not a safe bet for the Labor Party.
No, Basil, sorry, Michael. Just something you raised with me a few weeks ago. Sorry, I know this is going just a little bit off about Australia Day, because we obviously had it yesterday. Are you still saying that the Prime Minister needs to make a call on this issue?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's very, very clear in terms of Australia Day. We understand some people don't feel comfortable celebrating on that day, and we respect their right. What's very clear from what we saw in the city last night is there are many people who do still feel comfortable and want the opportunity to celebrate our National Day in a respectful manner appropriate for these times. Those people should be respected as well. And last night we saw an absolutely massive turnout in the city and the surrounding area. Now, if the date isn't one that can bring the whole country together, then I understand the conversation around changing it. Any sensible person would understand why that is being discussed. But the person to lead that change, if indeed we're heading to that,